Hi, today I'm going to show you my method of making compost tea, what I use, how I do it. First, dump in some unsulfured molasses. I use Grandma. If you read the back, it says that it is high in, well, not high for human standards, but it's got calcium and magnesium and iron in it. So those trace elements will transfer through to your compost tea, right? Next step, it's sticky,
water.
So really get it down off the bottom. Give it a good stir once you get it in there. I'm going to put about 4 gallons of water in here. You'll see why here in a minute.
Give it a good stir.
Alright, that looks good.
And it cleans
Here's
out
everything you need. Starting from the bottom, we got 3 buckets. We got one 25-gallon bucket filled with 3/4 finished compost, and then 1 bucket on top with very fine holes drilled in the bottom. You're going to take your molasses water, you're going to pour it in the bucket. The bucket has very small holes perforated on the bottom to allow it to slowly leach into the compost. Okay, this is 3/4 finished compost. I use that because it's biologically alive still. You got your beneficial bacteria in there. You got your mycorrhizal fungus in there. Several other things. The molasses water is to help the beneficial bacteria stay alive once they've gone through their suspension and land into the final resting. Keep them alive until you can get to them and put them where they need to be in your garden. I always stop short at the end because sometimes there's schmutz in my bucket, and there's some schmutz floating around in there I can see, and sometimes it plugs up your drainage holes. So as I'll show you here, it drips, drips, drips. The bucket helps keep the substrate moist, while the sun helps the black bucket keeps the substrate warm so that the beneficial bacteria are more in their breeding range. Same with the funguses. Now, as you'll see, not all buckets are created equal, and they fill up at, well, different rates. I typically take my handy dandy 4-cup measurer. 4 cups isn't a big deal, it's just so that it has a handle on it. You don't have to get your hand in there. So you take your freshly made compost tea with all the other lovelies in it, and you pour it on into your waterers, and I use a concentration of a 1-to-1 ratio, so 1 gallon to 1 gallon. Then simply fill your other 1 ratio with water. So now we take our wonderful compost tea and we come down this little aisle here, and what we have is some rather lovely well, squishes and squashes, I call them. The littler ones here are butternuts, and these are acorns. Just go ahead and water them on down. I'm sure they'll love it on this nice warm day. They like wet feet, well drained wet feet. Leaves. That's a good start, right? They're just babies yet. And while we're at it, let's give some to these lovely muskmelon hiding in here. They are doing really well. Lots of male flowers, lots of female flowers.